Good evening and welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. We've got Buster Olney on the Michael K. Show talking about the New York Yankees 26th season and how the AL East is going to shake out. It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York sports for New York nuts. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's go!
It's New York Minute Sports.
Well, there you have it, folks. Welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. I've treated you with Heyman and Sherman all year long. The least I could do is give you a little Buster Olney on the Michael K. Show, talking about what he thinks is going to happen in the AL East this year. Are the Yankees really running it back? Let's go to the videotape with Michael K. and Buster Olney.
Yeah, I agree. And, but we have to argue about something, right? So a lot of hot takes out there. So let's throw that out there. I know you were around the Yankees yesterday, the game that was on ESPN. What's your feel on the team? Now, a lot of the guys are gone, the WBC, but overall, what's your feel about this Yankee team? But we have to argue about something, right? So a lot of hot takes out there. So let's throw that out there. I know you were around the Yankees yesterday, the game that was on ESPN. What's your feel on the team? Now, a lot of the guys are gone, the WBC, but overall, what's your feel about this Yankee team?
I think they're going to be great. I really do. I just look. You talk to the other players about Ben Rice and his emergence, and you hear everyone being so excited about Garrett Cole. You see that by the end of the year, that George Lombard Jr. is going to be a factor in the shortstop conversation, or it could be, an excellent defender and a great presence. Look, I think they'll continue to get better as the year goes along, and they get Rodon.
This is the best part of the 2026 New York Yankees, and I've been saying it ad nauseum. The New York Yankees have options. They have flexibility. They have speed, athleticism, youth, and age. It is a great sprinkling and potpourri, if you will, of what you need for a championship baseball team. I want you to think, as a Yankee fan, when is the last time that you had 3 to 5 AAA players pushing to make it on the major league roster, where the New York Yankees are going to have to start making spots for these guys? The way that you get on the major league level is you hit your way there. They'll figure out the defense later. Just look at Jasson Domínguez. That's how he got on the roster 2 years ago. And now guys like Spencer Jones and Lombard Jr. are making so much noise with the New York Yankees organization that they're undeniable. Lombard Jr. right now at the age of 20 looks like a Gold Glove level defenseman shortstop, and now his bat is starting to come around, especially with the home run off of Crochet yesterday. The New York Yankees think that this guy is the future shortstop of the New York Yankees. Now, my question is, with guys like Caballero, with guys like Lombard Jr. emerging, where does that leave Anthony Volpe? Now, I said to you guys earlier is that the Yankees are going to do contract manipulation with Anthony Volpe this year. When he is healed from his labrum tear, they are going to send him down to AAA for 26 days. That will extend his contract to the year 2027 and 2028. That will either make him into a major trade piece if he can rise his stock, or that might lead him to being the future second baseman of the New York Yankees if the Yankees don't re-sign Jazz Chisholm for the money that he is seeking next year, which is going to be around $300 million. Yeah, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn, Jazz Chisholm, because if you think you're getting that money for the Yankees, you can shit in one hand and hope in the other and see which one fills up first.
But he's got a ways to go, I think, before that happens. And Jasson Domínguez, when I talked to him yesterday, he feels like that, his defense has gotten better. I know the Yankees feel that way too. But in terms of the utility of a roster, I would agree with you without having, pinned down anyone in the Yankees organization. And the big thing is Dominguez needs to play. That's why they were disappointed when he had that wrist issue. They had the wrist issue in winter ball because they wanted him to get reps at the plate and on defense.
So we're talking with Buster Olney here on the Michael K. Show. So every day for 2 hours, there's a good portion of the show, me talking Yankee fans off the ledge. They're upset that the team is running it back. Why are you running it back? You got destroyed by the Blue Jays. And my answer to them is they really.
That's because I'm going to say some stuff that's going to hurt some people's feelings. A lot of Yankee fans are casuals. Like, just to keep their man card, they say that they know baseball and that they're a Yankee fan and all that stuff. Also, the New York Yankee fan has become accustomed to having a shiny present underneath the Christmas tree around December, which is a free agent every year. The New York Yankees are a different team now. They're building from the farm system. They're building with youth. They're getting underneath the tax threshold because the New York Yankees cannot compete monetarily with teams like the Mets, the Dodgers, etc., etc. The New York Yankees have a different type of team now. They are building from the farm system. This is exactly what Yankee fans have been bitching about for the past 15 years. Why can't we build anyone in the farm system? Where's all our farm system guys? They can't develop anybody. And now they start developing pitchers, and now they start developing positional players, and now it's where's our free agents? The New York Yankees got 13 guys at the trade deadline last year, and I know it drives me nuts hearing, hey, we acquired a lot of guys, but Brian Cashman has a new approach for the New York Yankees. That's trading for guys that have 2 to 3 years of control, like Bednar and Duvall and Jazz Chisholm. Look at what the deal for Jazz Chisholm that he got. I mean, for the trade and for the guys that we moved over for the Marlins, it's an amazing trade by Brian Cashman. He got this guy under 2 years of control, and now he's become the best second baseman, if not the second best second baseman in all of Major League Baseball, who's going to warrant a $300 million contract. So Brian Cashman has done well with the mix of veterans, and now the New York Yankees actually have a bench, guys. You don't have to go out and get Joey Gallo and Aaron Hicks and watch Jake Bauer play outfield. That was only 2 years ago, guys. The New York Yankees, I think, have the best approach to actually win a World Series is this year. The year that they made against the Dodgers, they were lucky to get in. Anthony Rizzo had his brain scrambled from a concussion, and they had Verdugo playing left. And they had Juan Soto and Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, and that's it in the playoffs hitting.
On back, and they get Cole back. And they're going to need it because this division is absolutely stacked. Just being around the Red Sox and no team has as much starting pitching as they do. They've upgraded their defense. There's some questions for me.
How can you sit there and say that no one has close to what the Boston Red Sox have with their pitching staff? Like I said to you on yesterday's episode, and you can check that out in the videos, the New York Yankees have the best staff in the AL East. Like I said yesterday, the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox, it's a 1A, 1B conversation. I don't think there's a 1-2. But for Buster Olney to come out and say that it's just black and white, that the Boston Red Sox have a better pitching staff than the New York Yankees, I think that's a little bit of fool's gold. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
About how much power they have, but they're going to be great. And then you have the Blue Jays, who are going to grow from the experience they had last year. So, look, I think Yankees are going to be in an absolute dogfight in the American League. And I saw the Tigers, and they got this kid, Kevin McGonigal, who's going to be a major factor. The American League is a lot better than it was a year ago.
Now,
and you know what? As far as a year ago is concerned, the New York Yankees were the belle of the ball, and they were the team until Toronto Blue Jays started making noise last year, and now the AL East has been its most competitive since about the 2000s right now. With the pitching staffs, with the youth that they have, and the mixed veterans, like I said, the AL East is going to be a meat grinder this year, folks. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, hit your notification button, because I'm going to be covering it all.
Now, another team that I think that has improved greatly, I really truly believe this, is the Orioles. I think they're going to be a factor as well. They didn't get the great starting pitching, but they got starting pitching that makes them better than last year. I think it's going to be a 4-team race, and you can never really count out Tampa Bay because they always surprise.
Right, exactly.
That's the one thing. I don't touch really on the Tampa Bay Rays a lot on this channel, but the one thing is that they can have a payroll of $228,000 and they could be fighting for third place or second place every single year. They play everybody in the division difficult. And when they actually do have a stadium with a roof on it, they play tough in their home field. And it's so funny because of the success of the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees in luxury tax. They're literally solely responsible for the existence of the Tampa Bay Rays. They paid for them through luxury tax.
And Junior Caminero is probably coming out of the WBC will be the the player who casual baseball fans will get to know. People within the game know what a star he is. But I think after this tournament, people are going to understand, like, he's one of the impact players in baseball. And the Rays always outperform what the expectations are. We were talking to Aaron Boone yesterday, Eduardo Perez and Carl Ravitch and myself, and he was talking about the Orioles and how much, the front of the rotation, how dangerous that is. And look, Pete Alonso is a great anchor for the middle of their lineup that they've lacked. So I agree with you. I'm not as high on the Orioles as some of the other teams, but I mean, the 5-team division is easily the best.
Yeah, but now you're talking out of both sides of your mouth because the Orioles could actually do something. Yeah, but you just mentioned the pitching staff of the Toronto Blue Jays, the Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees, and even the Tampa Bay Rays. Okay, you got to remember they were 11th in team ERA last year, even with them doing poorly. So if you really want to talk about it, the Baltimore Orioles, as far as starting pitching, is in last place in the AL East. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
The best in baseball.
Let's go back to the Red Sox because it fascinates me. A lot of the projection systems have them, the top home run hitter on their team will be 18 home runs. I don't know if that's accurate,
right,
but that's the projection system.
That's the big thing about the Boston Red Sox this year. They got a bunch of emerging stars on their team as far as offensively is. But with the loss of veteran presence on this team and the bats that they've lost, where is the offense going to come from? Hey, listen, if they want to win games 3-1, 2-1, that's great. If you're thinking that Chapman is going to replicate the same year that he had last year, which was suspect because he's a juice taker, but the Boston Red Sox, where are the runs going to come from? Let me know in the comments below. Boston Red Sox fans, are you worried about the bats and the run production coming out of Beantown? Because the New York Yankee fans were worried about that with the Yankees last year, and the Yankees wound up leading the American League in runs scored. So I don't know if it's just little spring training jitters, but people are wondering where the runs are going to come from the Boston Red Sox. People are wondering where the pitching is going to come from the Baltimore Orioles because the runs will be there with guys like Pete Alonso.
Now, is that just a glitch in the way they were built, or did they make mistakes and they wound out with a team with great pitching but no offense?
No, I think they're going to have a good offense. But I do think the power is going to be, that is absolutely their potential Achilles heel. And look, I think Roman Anthony is going to hit more than 18 home runs. I think the reason why they're, the projection system don't give him a lot is because he's only got 303 plate appearances in the big leagues.
Right.
But and I know, even though he's only 21 years old and he's only played in 71 games, people around baseball view him as being a guy. Like, this is someone who could lead a team already. I was talking with JP Richard.
Just like Aaron Judge, though, he has an injury history already early in his career. So the Boston Red Sox are going to have to choose. They just thought Devers was going to be their franchise guy, and now literally he's gone, and all the guys they traded for are gone. So Red Sox fans, how do you feel about Anthony? Do you think he is the future of the Boston Red Sox, or are you worried about him getting hurt all the time? Let me know in the comments below, because this reminds me of another guy the Boston Red Sox had, Jacoby Ellsbury.
The former GM of the Blue Jays recently, who's seen Anthony play a lot in the minor leagues, and he says if this guy stays healthy, he's going to be remembered as one of the all-time great Red Sox hitters.
Wow.
We saw that at the end of last year, that he's going to have
Yastrzemski, Ted Williams, that's some pretty good company.
An impact. But here's the thing about the Red Sox power that I don't like is that if Roman Anthony, and he's had a history of injuries, if he gets hurt, or if their new first baseman Wilson Contreras gets hurt, man, the power, there are not a lot of places for the power to come from. And I do think over 162 games, you're going to win with 3-run homers, and they don't have a lot of that capability. They got the deepest pitching in the division. They got that really good defense. They have a versatile roster, but power over 100.
Hold on. What is he talking about? They got that really good defense. The Boston Red Sox had more errors than the New York Yankees, and they were playing defense like they were on roller skates last year. The Boston Red Sox defense is not as good as the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays have the best defense in the AL East.
62 games will be their great challenge.
Now, I love Caleb Durbin. He's a real pesky sort of player, but as a corner infielder, I think he'll hit some home runs at Fenway. The natural fit to me, Buster.
You know, Caleb Durbin was in the Yankees organization. I just hope this guy doesn't come and bite us back in the ass. He's going to be playing third base for them, and he's a natural second baseman. So you're going to have to see if that arm is strong enough to make the toss over to first. Not to mention, he's exactly what the New York Yankees are missing right now. A young guy that's a table setter at the top of the lineup that hits for high average singles and doubles and plays decent defense. The New York Yankees gave him up in the low-lev dev trade to the Milwaukee Brewers last year, and now he's back in the division. And I got to admit, I think big things of Caleb Durbin. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
The Red Sox shortstop about wanting to be able to work with a consistent partner at second base to get to know that player. Wouldn't surprise me if they go Durbin at third to start the year, Meyer at second, and then see how it goes.
Now, I know that when you get around people, you get them to say things. So let me ask you about the Yankees, if you got any intel on this. I look at this, and barring injury, Buster, I do not see how Jasson Domínguez or Spencer Jones makes the 26-man roster. Is that what you think?
They're not going to make it. They're not going to make it because Jasson Domínguez is hitting too left-handed. Okay, they need him to hit from the right side of the plate. And what's weird is he's a natural right-handed hitter. So that makes me scratch my head why that's his weakest spot of hitting. Then Spencer Jones, like I said before, I love what I'm seeing from spring training. His numbers are great. He looks amazing. I mean, what's not to love about the guy? And especially after hearing the interview, he has his shit straight. He's a smart guy, well-spoken, team leader. Looks like he fits all the boxes, right? But there's no reason for the New York Yankees to bring him up this year. He can go down to AAA and give him another year to work on it. The thing with Jasson Domínguez is you either can shit or get off the pot with this guy. He needs to go down and get reps from the right side of the plate, and the only place he can do that is in AAA. It's not going to do him any good if he plays in 81 games this year at a major league level because it's going to hurt his development, especially after the emergence of Trent Grisham last year, which stunted his growth because the New York Yankees didn't think Trent Grisham was going to do what he did.
You know, I didn't dig into it that deeply. In other words, where I'm looking at, asking the question, okay, is it this guy or this guy? Mm-hmm. Because, Joe Torre's old line, these things will always resolve themselves.
Yep.
But, I would agree with you, that there is it's Spencer Jones clearly working on some things with his swing, working with Aaron Judge's hitting coach in the offseason, tinkering with the Shohei Ohtani mechanics.
That scares me a little bit, though. Why are they going to send guys out? They don't have somebody in-house in the Yankees organization to get through to this guy. Like, why do the New York Yankees best hitters keep outsourcing for their hitting coaches? Wouldn't that make you worry a little bit with the Yankees organization as far as hitting is concerned? Maybe Aaron Judge saw in AAA that they were doing nothing but launch angle and exit velocity, and he was like, well, I got to get away from these guys immediately. And maybe that's the reason that Aaron Judge is the only guy that survived the Baby Bombers, because he had an outside hitting coach.
You're saying that you love this Yankee team the way it is.
An exception, something that the Yankees typically do well. Yeah, I do. I think Ben Rice, this is the year where he goes from being and his growth mindset. And it was Goldschmidt that pointed out to me that, last year, Ben was preparing in a role as a backup catcher, essentially. And he was also trying to learn how to play first base. And he's learning how to hit in the big leagues. And he got through that and had a pretty damn good year. And now wouldn't surprise me if he takes, another step forward. They have Ryan McMahon for the entire season. We'll see what the bat brings. But we know this. He's an excellent defender. And here's the other thing, too.
You know why Ryan McMahon needs to start and why it's so important to this team? Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, and Weathers, all left-handers. You need a Gold Glove level third baseman. Ask Carlos Rodon and Max Fried last year with that revolving door at third.
Is it one way or another, Michael? They're going to get better play at shortstop because they're not going to wait around. I just don't think so. You start with Jose Caballero. You hope that Anthony Volpe comes back and he's better than he was last year. And if he's not, they've got a ready-made alternative in the minor leagues and George Lombard Jr., who they believe, and I think people around baseball believe, He can play defense in the big leagues right now. The question is the bat, but they just love the makeup so much. I just think in the end, the play at shortstop they're going to get is better than last year.
And you know what? Lombard Jr.'s performance and defensive performance in spring training so far has completely jumped off the page at me. This guy is the goods, but just like every other Yankees prospect, we got to see what his bat looks like. They're good at defense. The bat, not so much. But, guys, I'm going to be covering tomorrow night's World Baseball Classic game against Brazil. I'm going to be broadcasting live at game time, 8 p.m. tomorrow, broadcasting live. So if you guys want to interact, ask questions, ask any comments, questions, whatever you want to do. It's going to be a hang sesh. It's going to be me watching Team USA take on Brazil and the start of the World Baseball Classic. Like I told you before, I'm going to be going down to Florida, going to be covering the World Baseball Classic, going to be at the finals this year. It's going to be an unbelievable tournament. If you haven't seen the World Baseball Classic yet, get your popcorn ready. Get there. Fox, 8 o'clock. Right here, YouTube. It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York Sports for New York Nuts. And remember, if you can't be good, be bad, baby. Good night, Canada. Bye.